When I was a resident in training, there were a few areas of medicine that had particular interest for me. One was pulmonary, one was gastroenterology, and one was cardiology. I tended to like things that involved procedures and also taking care of a critically ill population with the ability to intervene and make them better fairly rapidly. And as I thought about my interests, ultimately cardiology stood out as the area that I wanted to go into. And that is, I think, turned out to be a great decision for me over the past 25 years because our field has really altered the lives of people over that time period. There have been tremendous advances in the treatment of coronary artery disease, for example. When I was an intern taking care of a patient with a heart attack, we were only able to give them morphine and nitroglycerin, not able to change the outcome of what was going on. Nowadays, that same person who would have had a large heart attack comes in, gets an intervention with balloon and intracardiac stenting, and could go home with minimal heart damage, really just a blip in their life as opposed to a life-altering, devastating disease process. So it's really been a lot of fun being a cardiologist over this time period. My favorite part of the job is interacting with people and some of the high technology that we utilize in cardiology. It's a great patient population to interact with, and we're able to really make people better, both symptomatically and also in terms of prolonging survival. And then some of the high-tech things we do in the cath lab are really exciting and interesting. So I'm a cardiologist, and I'm an interventional cardiologist, so I'm one of those guys who in the middle of the night, when someone's having a particular kind of heart attack, comes in with the cath lab team and opens up blocked arteries involving balloons and stenting. So we're able to take people in the throes of a very life-threatening illness and make them better. Yeah, I think there are two pieces of advice that have stuck with me my whole life. One is when I was a boy, 5 years old, my father told me that everybody puts on their pants the same way. And he said, whether someone's a bank president or a custodian, you treat them the same way because we're all the same. I've never forgotten that, and it's been one of my guiding principles, throughout my career. The second is when I was a resident, when I was a medical student, one of my residents said, for those of you who will go into practice, there'll be a time where you get called to the emergency room in the middle of the night, and all you're going to want to do is go back to sleep. You'll be really mad at the patient who's called you out of bed in a way, summoned you to the emergency room. He said, don't ever forget that that person probably doesn't want to be in the emergency room. You're going to get to go there. You're going to see them. You're going to try to make them better. You're going to get to go home and go to sleep. They're not. And sometimes in the middle of a night, on a stormy night or a snowy night, as I'm driving in and you're sort of sleepy and saying, oh boy, I'd rather be back in bed, I think of Mike Levy's advice, and it's been very good advice. Well, we've, at the New England Heart Institute, have been partnering with Parkland for over 2 decades, and as a member of the New England Heart Institute, I've been coming here now for many years. It's a great place to be. It's a really high-quality hospital. The patient population is really nice, and the staff are very high quality, fun to interact with, and provide a very high level of care. We've been able to bring some of our cardiology technology to Parkland in partnership with the New England Heart Institute and Catholic Medical Center. And that's just been a really good thing for the community in Derry. Well, I really like the hospital. I think we have a very fine quality hospital for a hospital this size in a community like Derry. The quality of the medical staff is really good. The other staff, the ancillary staff, nurses, mid-level providers, are really top quality. So I think that when a patient comes here for their care, they end up getting top quality care in their local community, not having to travel to one of the larger cities or down to Boston.